off the right wing boards to the middle. He'll get to center ice. Now down the left side. He'll get over the line. He'll go to the net. He'll shoot it. Save made by Dostal, but a penalty coming up to the Ducks. A slashing call on a great rush up the ice by Darnell Nurse.
Well, that's what Darnell can do. I mean, he's a big man that can really skate. And that time he lugged it, and he was under duress, and he took it all the way from his own zone, cut from the far right to the far left, and he isolated Vetrano, and Vetrano got the stick in on him, and Dostal had to fight that one off. So we're going to play a little bit of 4-on-4 hockey here.
He's off to the right of Dostal, made 20 saves and that 6-2 loss in Vancouver on Saturday. It's his 51st appearance of the year.
This guy's a good goalie.
He is very good. Bouchard gets the puck off the draw. He's on the left wing point. Across the line on the left to Kulak. Left wing corner, and Hyman comes across the top to Bouchard and shot, and a blocker save made by Dostal. Puck to the point, and it's Bouchard off the left wing boards to Henrique, to Bouchard, to the net, and his shot just wide. Terry will get it out through the middle to Hellison. Hellison over the line across to Terry. Great save by Rodrigue, and he holds on as Troy Terry with a great chance.
An excellent chance both ways, and a good back check. And it was Ryan Strome that got the stick on Bouchard at the last second, and that altered his shot. And then the Oilers' Brett Kulak got caught up the ice, and Terry, who had dinner last night with a couple former Duck teammates, Adam Henrique, along with Max Jones. And we would know that because they were right next to us at the next table at Joey Newport, which is run by Darren Getty out of Edmonton. His father, of course, Don Getty, the former premier.
Here's Lacombe on the right wing point to McTavish. Across the line in the Edmonton zone. We're still 4-on-4. To the left wing corner from the angle. Gauthier put it up high, went off of Rodrigue, and Wallman will come to center ice. Nice pass to Nugent Hopkins, and shot off the arm of Dostal.
What do we tell you about chances? There's going to be chances in this game.
Lacombe will bring it into the Edmonton, and he'll poke it to the net, and a left pad saved by Rodrigue. It's near the top of the circle. McTavish keeps it in for the Ducks. Still 4-on-4. We're scoreless in the first. Zellweger to the left wing corner to Zegras. Now to McTavish.
This guy's a good young player, McTavish. Nice check by Nurse.
It's poked off his stick. Wallman has it on the left wing. Long pass just broken up by Lacombe before it could get to Jeff Skinner. Across to Zellweger, the Fort Saskatchewan product, in on the right to Zegras. He'll fire it across, and it gets to Carlson. Has it on the left wing, to the left wing point. Mintyukov with a shot, and it doesn't get through.
Oilers are on the power play here, Cam, in 5 seconds, but it's only for 15 seconds. Not really a chance to set it up.
Wallman in behind the Edmonton net, out through the middle. Pass through the middle, glances off an Anaheim stick. Hellison into his own end, but pressured by Janmark. It goes to the blue line, hits Kulak in the skate, goes up in the air. Corey Perry, the former Duck, off the corner boards. Rims on the left wing, top of the circle. Vetrano, who's out of the box, gets it out to center ice. Both teams are 0 for 1 on the power play, both of them short. Puck brought in on the left wing. Carlson on the left wing boards. To the point, Mintyukov. Rim the puck over to the right. There's Gauthier at the top of the circle. Gets checked on the play, and it's cleared out by Brown to Janmark. Into the Anaheim zone to the right corner. As Mintyukov goes into the corner, gets the puck for the Ducks. Out to center ice. To Gauthier. Now to Killorn. Drops it. Carlson had to wait.
Ducks can skate. They got some tempo and pace in their lineup.
Scoreless here in the first. 3:40 gone. As Leeson will shoot it in. It's on net. Blockered away by Rodrigue. Sent up to the blue line. That was kept in on the left wing point by Shillington. And it goes in behind the Edmonton net. Along the left wing boards. The hash marks is Leeson in behind the net. Gave it to Nestorenko. His pass back to the point, broken up by Hyman. He'll come out, taken up by Shillington, and the puck goes to the corner.
Shillington can really skate.
Nurse through the neutral zone. His pass that misses Hyman. It'll be icing against Edmonton. 4 minutes, 15 seconds gone in a scoreless first period. The Oilers and the Anaheim Ducks have got some pace to this game.
Both teams trading chances here early, and we mentioned Shillington. He was on that Flames team, 21-22, and had a great year, 38-point season. And then took a little bit of time away from the game. Bounced around a bit here the last couple of years. Ended up in Anaheim.
the draw. Puck goes to the point. Hellison right side. A shot tipped on net and a left pad saved by Rodrigue. As it goes to the middle of the ice, Max Jones, former Duck, will get it out up the right wing to Wallman. Comes in over the Anaheim line, will drop it. The shot by Hyman, save made by Dostal, and the puck to center ice. Strome to center, will dump it in to the left wing corner. Terry takes it in behind the Edmonton net to the blue line. Hellison over to Minchikov, a shot that's steered aside by Rodrigue. Strome dumped it in behind the Edmonton goal. Terry trying to get it free. He does on the right wing. Goes to the top of the circle. Skates to the right wing point. Nugent Hopkins was on him, and it comes out to center ice. Hellison inside his own line to Minchikov. Back to Drew Hellison. Minchikov took a hit there from Podkolzin. Minchikov up the left wing off the stick of Strome. And Kulak to Arvidsson, into the Anaheim end to Podkolzin, chopped off his stick. Arvidsson to the middle, can't get a shot. It goes to the line. Bouchard across the line, down the right wing, but Zegras can get it almost out, but not quite. Lacombe to Gudis, he will get it out through the middle. To Colangelo in over the Edmonton blue line, to McTavish, has it on the right wing. Top of the circle, cycles the puck to Zegras, lost an edge, lost the puck. Kulak through the middle to Janmark. Now into the Anaheim end. Podkolzin, shot and a glove saved by Dostal on a rising blast from Podkolzin. 5:55 gone here in a scoreless first.
Well, the Oilers have already had more chances in the first 6 minutes of this hockey game than they did against LA 5-on-5. And they didn't make much happen, the Oilers in their lone power play that they got against LA. Edmonton, by the way, did kill off 4 shorthanded situations against the Kings.
Face off to the right of Dostal. Yeah, Mark Skinner and Brown on the ice with Stetcher and Emberson. Stetcher turning 31 seasons today. Gauthier in his own zone, top of the circle, off the boards and out. Emberson to Janmark, back to Emberson. Cross to Stetcher, up the left wing, off of Skinner and into the Anaheim end. Zellweger in behind his net. Right up the left wing, was right on the tape. Now to Carlson, he'll drop it. Gauthier shot, misses short side, around the boards and out.
I mean, Zellweger beat 3 players at that pass.
Killorn in his own zone. Round to Shillington, didn't get much on his pass. Connor Brown just kept it in for a moment. Shillington will get it out. Won't be hard enough for icing. Turned up by Wallman. Long pass to Nurse. And over the Duck line. The left wing corner goes in behind the net as Henrique got it free. Right corner to Perry. To the blue line. Wallman over to Nurse. Nurse waiting, shooting. That's blocked by Leeson, and it comes out of the zone. The scoreless here in the first. The Oilers taking on Anaheim. Down the right wing. Perry over the line. Across and batted wide by Hyman. Hellison will get it out for the Ducks. Perry to Hyman. Lost it at the Anaheim line. Minchikov on the right to Nestorenko. Nestorenko will shoot it in. Up the left wing is Kulak to Corey Perry. Still inside Edmonton territory. Across to Bouchard. Through the middle. Didn't touch.
I thought
it touched Kulak too, but they say no. I guess it's icing.
Evan Bouchard's having that conversation right now.
Yeah, from here it looks like it touched Kulak's stick, but I guess not. Face off to the left of Rodrigue. First NHL start for Olivier Rodrigue. He did play 20 minutes in that March 27th game in Seattle. Stopped 7 of 8. Kulak in behind the Edmonton net. The left wing goes to the top of the circle to the line for Lacombe. His shot hit Bouchard, went wide. And Bouchard up the right wing and then off of Perry and out. Lacombe with it at center. Pass in behind Gudis. He's got to go back into his own end. Up the right wing to Strome. Into the middle to Lacombe. He'll step up into the play. Give it to Terry. Into the Edmonton end, top of the circle for Vetrano. Chops it to the right wing corner for Lacombe. That's kicked loose, top of the circle. Vetrano to the blue line to Gudis. Down the right wing to Strome. Strome to the left point for Lacombe. His shot off of Arvidsson's stick, and it broke, and it's in behind the Edmonton goal. On the left wing, Nugent Hopkins. Cross to Bouchard. Up the right side to Arvidsson, who's got a new twig. Got it just in over the blue line. Goodis over to Lacombe. We're scoreless in the first. 8.5 gone as the Oilers take on the Ducks. Goodis, right wing for Trevor Zegras. To McTavish into the Edmonton end. Across to the left point. Zellweger down the left wing towards the net. It goes off of Rodrigue. Shillington will keep it in. Behind the net to Zegras. Zegras pass over the stick as Shillington will go all the way down the ice.
It's a predatorial hit there from Ty Emerson, like it, but a real smart play, and they freed up a good look for themselves, and the Oilers were lucky there wasn't a backdoor tap in.
Zellweger on the left to McTavish. Couldn't get it back to Zellweger. Henrique got it to the blue line just out. McTavish back in with it. Down the right wing. Colangelo from the angle off of Rodrigue, and it'll get out to the neutral zone. At center ice, puck poked down the left wing to Perry. Into the Anaheim end, waiting to the left corner. Minchikov peeled it off his stick. They're up to the point. And off of Henrique, it stays in the Anaheim end.
I think Perry's got to put that one on the net.
Henrique on the left wing. Colangelo all over him. Colangelo got it free. To Zegras, off the boards and out. Nurse inside the Edmonton blue line. Left side to Hyman. Taken to the boards by Minchikov. Cleared out by Colangelo. Nurse on the right wing will dump it in. Stahl to play it. Lost it to Janmark to the right wing point. Nurse, a shot. Blocker saved by Stahl. Killorn's up the right wing for the Ducks. Into the Edmonton end. Right wing stopped at the point. Off the boards. Into the corner for Carlson. To the line. The shot by Goodis. Save made by Rodrigue. And it's in behind the Oiler net. Wallman off the glass. It hit Goodis. Went out, went back in. It's offside against Anaheim with 9:33 to go here in a scoreless first period. The Oilers taking on the Ducks. We'll be right back from the Honda Center in Anaheim. It's Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network. 9:33 to go in the first period. Cam Moon along with Bob Stauffer. Oilers and Ducks scoreless here in this first. And tonight's Oilers caring for Oil Country 50-50 presented by Rogers. It's in support of the ALS Super Fund. Funds raised will help improve the speed and accuracy of diagnosis, advanced development of new treatments, and bring us closer to a cure. Get your tickets now at EdmontonOilers.com/5050 to support.
Just want to mention, our condolences. Sad day in the hockey world with the passing of Sportsnet's Greg Millen, who had a lengthy NHL career as a goaltender. And I did front court and stats for Greg about 28 years ago. Good guy.
Real
Sad
good
day.
guy.
Sad day. Nice man.
Puck comes out to center ice. Back into his own end is Carlson. Now over to Hellison. Up the right wing. Or Gauthier, a shot off his stick goes over the glass, out of play. I did an event with Greg Millen 2017 in Sylvan Lake. Just, I
didn't get that invite one from you. Thanks for the non-invite there, Cam.
It wasn't my event.
Whenever it's your event, I don't get that.
It wasn't my event. I just happened to be there. But he was a great guy.
He's a wonderful human. Remember, a number of years ago, Greg Millen, myself, and Steve Hall, Taylor's dad, when Taylor was still with the Oilers.
Yep.
We sat down at the Westin in Detroit and had an extended conversation on hockey and life.
Solve some problems, I'm sure.
As you know I would.
Yeah. Strome in the Oiler end. His pass that goes right to Kapanen. Now up to Jones. Into the Ducks end. It goes to the line and brought in on the offside by Hyman. 8:56 to go here in the scoreless first. Oilers and Ducks going right after it. Ducks have won 2 out of 3 in the previous 3 matchups.
Well, they bombed the Oilers in one of them at Rogers' place. It was ugly.
The Oilers scored late to get it to 6-2, if I recall.
Yes, Connor was less than enthused on the goal that he scored that night.
Yeah, the Oilers have lost 6-2 and 5-3. They won 3-2 against Anaheim at home on January 3rd.
Should be mentioned a fairly robust practice day today from Connor McDavid. He's closing in on a return. Leon Draisaitl did skate. That's good news. Don't think he's imminent with his return.
Stetcher will wire it in. It rides up on the glass. Kapanen's pass to the point didn't have a lot on it. And Nestorenko will get it out. into the Edmonton zone to the right point. Gudis will shoot it towards the net. It changed direction, just went wide. Leeson in the left wing corner for the Ducks to the blue line. Lacombe to Gudis to the middle to Leeson. His shot, and that is blocked by Jones, and it comes out.
Good job. But Kapanen, you can't put pucks in bad spots, and he did on the previous shift, and that started a transition opportunity for Anaheim.
Lacombe into the Oiler end. Rims it on the right. Along the right wing boards, Leeson. It goes to the top of the circle. Jones has to push it back to Stetcher. Now to Emberson. Emberson with Nestorenko on him. Behind the net. Stetcher to Emberson. Out through the middle to Nugent-Hopkins. On the right wing to Arvidsson. Into the Anaheim end. A shot. Pad save by Dostal. Hard shot there by Arvidsson.
Yikes. Nugent-Hopkins lost his balance. That's how he got hurt years ago against Chicago.
Nugent-Hopkins into the Anaheim end to the right corner with Mintyukov on him. Holds him off. Gets it out to Arvidsson. To the left wing point for Nurse. Into the slot off of Arvidsson's stick, and Zegras will skate away. Then gave it away at center ice, and it's Podkolzin right back in to Nugent-Hopkins. Over to Podkolzin and hit his stick. Now Podkolzin has it in the right wing corner. Across to Arvidsson. Scoreless here in the first. To the blue line it goes. For Wallman, a shot. Dostal the save. He holds on. 7:14 to go here in the first period. The Oilers and the Ducks are scoreless. We're going to be right back from the Honda Center in Anaheim. It's Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
All games, all season. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
Here at the Honda Center, the Oilers and the Ducks. No goals yet. 7:14 to go in the first. Cam Moonlow and Bob Stauffer. Shots are 8-7 for Edmonton. Face off in the Duck zone to the left of Dostal. Leo Carlson to take the draw. Up against Janmark. Puck goes to Shillington, left corner. He will get it out. It's batted right back in by Wallman. Shillington will turn it up the left wing. Through the middle. Hits a stick. It's bouncing around. And on the right wing, Gauthier lost it at the Edmonton blue line. Jeff Skinner comes the other way. Into Ducks territory. To Janmark. Goes to the left wing corner. The left wing boards to the blue line to Nurse. He'll walk in. He'll shoot it. And it's saved by Dostal as the Oilers were trying to get traffic in front of the net. Dostal found it.
And Janmark thought he got hooked on the play. They didn't call it. Had a chance. Started to drop the puck back.
Off to the right of Dostal. 6:42 to go here in a scoreless first.
Cam, the Rangers got bombed tonight. 5-1 by Tampa. Montreal,
they're going to get in.
They're going to get in.
Good for them.
No question Ottawa is. Yeah. Montreal's getting in. Good for Canadian markets. Super happy for the Canadians, knowing how much hockey means in La Belle Provence.
It's in behind the net, and it goes to Hyman. He'll walk it in front, and off a stick up into the air, gloved by Dostal as Hyman got dumped in front of the goal. Right. If he'd have told me even at Christmas that Montreal was going to get in, I wouldn't have believed it.
When we were in there in November, and they shut the Oilers out, the Oilers lost 4-3 in overtime to Toronto. Marner scored. Edmonton played pretty well. Then they got Montreal. At that time, I thought Michael Matheson might be available by a trade. And the Canadians beat the Oilers 3-0. And you got to give him credit.
You do.
Since the Four Nations face-off, has there been a better player in the league than Nick Suzuki?
Oh, he's been incredible. Goes to the right wing point. Bouchard slides down the right wing boards to the corner. His pass just off the stick of Hyman. And Leeson with control for Anaheim. Behind his net to Radko Gudis. Gudis through the middle to Leeson. Comes into the Edmonton zone. That's knocked off his stick. Kulak will get it out to Zach Hyman. Top of the circles in the Anaheim end. Down the left wing. It's along the left wing boards. Tied up in skates as Hyman pokes it free. Ellison has it for the Ducks. We'll go across to Jackson Lacombe.
This guy's got lots of defense prospects. They don't have a lot of forward. Like now, saying that, they got Gauthier, Carlson, McTavish here, and they got Bennett Sedecki. But beyond that, they're a little light with secondary prospects coming. Seneca's a kid that should have been on the World Juniors, but Canada outsmarted itself.
The Oshawa Generals of the OHL. Here's Terry inside his own blue line. 5:20 to go here in a scoreless first. To Hellison up the right wing to Strome. Wedged to the boards by Podkolzin, and Jones gets the puck for Edmonton. Goes into the Anaheim end to the left wing corner. Pumps it around to the right wing point. Emberson, right boards to Kapanen. Dropping the puck. It goes to the blue line. The shot by Emberson comes off the inboards, gets into the slot, knocked into the right wing corner. Kapanen has it there. Kapanen to Podkolzin to Kapanen. Left point to Stetcher. Now to Emberson. Across the line to Kapanen. Can't find a shooting lane. Has it on the right wing. Hellison's on him. Goes up to the blue line. Penalty coming up to Vetrano. As Terry will touch it, and Edmonton with 4:37 to go here in the first period is about to get their second power play of the game.
Well, the first one only lasted about 11 seconds, so that one didn't really count.
Holding call.
Good work from Kaplan, kept his feet moving.
All right, we'll take a break. Oilers with the man advantage when we come back. 4:37 to go in the scoreless first as the Oilers take on the Ducks. From the Honda Center in Anaheim, it's Four Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network. Scoreless in the first, 4:37 to go in the opening period. Cam Moon along with Bob Stoffer in the Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home and no payments, no interest for 1 year.
Oilers on the power play, their first real power play of the game. 6th in the league at 25.4%. Ducks penalty killing, 30th at 72.9.
Shot all the way down the ice. Power play brought to you by Atco Energy, your trusted energy retailer. Learn more at atcoenergy.com. Arvidsson at the Edmonton blue line. Cross ice to Nugent Hopkins. Now to Jeff Skinner as he brings it in. Gudis trying to break it up, can't get it out. Skinner across, and it just skips off the stick of Hyman and comes out. Bouchard through the neutral zone. Just in over the Anaheim line. Will dump it in. Dostal out to play it and goes right through the middle and down the ice.
A little different not having McDavid or Draisaitl as options on zone entry. The Oilers, not enough speed coming up the ice. Too easy.
Bouchard dropping it back. Now it comes across to Nugent Hopkins. Over to Arvidsson, to Jeff Skinner. Into the Anaheim end. Left wing point to Bouchard. Hopped over his stick, came out. Edmonton has to regroup. Hyman to Bouchard. 3.5 to go in a scoreless first. Now to Nugent Hopkins. Trying to get into the Anaheim end. He does. To Jeff Skinner on the left wing for Nugent Hopkins. Gets it around on the right wing boards. It goes to Arvidsson. Has it on the blue line. Cross the line to Jeff Skinner. Down the left wing into the corner to Nugent Hopkins. To the point for Bouchard. Fans on his pass, and it just comes out. Almost looked like Carlson was going to get a breakaway, and he'll shoot it down the ice. Rodrigue will get the puck to the corners. On the forecheck was Killorn. Penalty over in 18 seconds. Wallman to Henrique. Henrique to center ice. Left wing to Connor Brown. Dumps it in. Lacombe on the end boards. Penalty just about done. Rims on the right. Corey Perry on the right wing to Brown. Back to the point to Wallman. Penalty is done. Right wing for Brown. Poked off his stick and it comes out. Edmonton 0 for 2 on the power play.
You hate to lose momentum, but they didn't have a sniff on that one.
Wallman drifts it in off the glass. Lacombe on the left wing for the Ducks. To Gudis, gets caught in his skates.
Sportsnet. Now, NHL news. Kings Byfield scoops home wacky one-handed goal. Attachment.
Jake Wallman with the shot from the point. Dostal was down and out. And the Oilers are up 1-0.
Well, Corey Perry made 2 unbelievable plays in that shift. I mean, he left a wide open net that Connor Brown couldn't field on the first short side attempt, and then he gets it back to the point, long-range bomber, and from distance, Jake Wallman has sniped his 8th goal of the season. He's got 40 points on the year.
17:51, time of the goal. As the Oilers take a 1-0 lead here in Anaheim. On the right side, it's Zegras. At center, he'll shoot it in. McTavish into the left wing corner of the Edmonton zone. top of the circle. McTavish got checked on the play, and it comes out to center ice. Zellweger will shoot it back in. 1-0 Oilers lead here in the first. Kulak in behind the Edmonton net. We're under 2 minutes to play in this opening frame. Janmark up the left wing into the Anaheim, and then poked off his stick. It goes to Jones. He centers it, comes to the point. Stetcher's shot is blocked and comes out to center.
What a block by Oliver Shillington.
Back into his own end is Kulak. Yeah, that was. Stetcher was able to really step into it. Kulak weaves his way to center ice, shoots it in. Rims on the right wing, goes in behind the net. Minchikov had it knocked off his stick. Nugent-Hopkins to the line to Nurse. Now over to Nugent-Hopkins. His shot off the arm of Dostal. It goes over the stick of Nurse. It came out. Wallman has to recover it for the Oilers. We're into the last minute here in the first. 1-0 Edmonton leads. Wallman to center. Over the center ice line, flipped it in. Dostal had a little trouble with it. Podkolzin recovers, has it right wing, drops it off to Nugent-Hopkins. To the left wing point to Wallman. His shot, glove save. Dostal with 41 seconds left in the period. Face off in the Duck zone. Right now they're saying Henrique from Wallman and Perry, but
I don't think he got it.
I don't think he did either. And Wallman led the flyby.
Yeah. Oilers have had a good period.
They have had a good period.
Especially given that they don't have McDavid, Draisaitl, Frederick, Keane. Those guys will all be at it for the playoffs.
To the point.
Ekholm, Skinner.
Yep. Nurse across the line. Nurse got it low to Hyman. Now in behind the net. Goes over to the right wing and Gudis, he can't get it out. Nurse will keep it in. 20 seconds to go in the period. To Henrique, down the right wing to Zach Hyman. Comes up to the blue line, through the middle. Gudis all over him, but that pass goes right onto the tape of Gauthier, and he'll come out into the Edmonton zone. To the left wing corner to Killorn. Behind the net to Gauthier. Gauthier on the left wing as the period will come to a close. And the Edmonton Oilers, a 1-0 lead on the Anaheim Ducks after 20 minutes of play. And they are seeing Henrique from Wallman and Perry, but we have our doubts up here. Yes. We thought Wallman shot it and it went straight through, or off a Duck player, but I'm not sure that it hit Henrique. Maybe it did. I mean, hey, they were able to look at it more than we were. So they would have a better idea, I suppose. As the Oilers have a 1-0 lead here on Anaheim after 20 minutes. Last game of the road trip for Edmonton, a victory in Vegas, a victory against San Jose, a loss to the LA Kings.
A solid first period.
Solid first period. A lot of jump. Both teams had a lot of jump in that first period.
Do we have Matthias down there?
Oh, excellent.
Hey, Matthias. You probably didn't want us to just ramble away. Your thoughts on the opening period? What'd you see?
Yeah, pretty solid. I think Ollie made some really good saves early on. And
From the Honda Center in Orange County, the Edmonton Oilers and the Anaheim Ducks, with the Oil having an opportunity to finish off a potential 3-1 road trip. Louis, coming off a shutout loss in Los Angeles, obviously besides the goal, what are some things you noticed about Edmonton's game that weren't in evidence on Saturday afternoon?
Well, they're getting to the net a little bit more in this game, and I thought they got boxed out a little bit against the Los Angeles Kings, especially when they were chasing in the third period. But tonight, after a little bit of weathering end-to-end action, they started to solidify the defensive zone and spend more in the offensive zone and get to the front of that net. Result in the first goal.
Closer look, partner, brought to you by Specsavers. Quality eyewear and eye care should be affordable for all. Should have gone to Specsavers. Here's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, multiple layers in front of the net. Corey Perry was the first one to crash the net. The drop pass out misses, but they stick with it. And when you have to look and be confused at who put that puck in the net, that's a good sign. We've talked about that all year long. Layers of traffic. Adam Henrique, the ex-Duck, gets his team on the board in the old building that he played in for so many games. A 1-0 lead on a deflection from a Wallman blast from the blue line, but that traffic in front is why that found the back of the net.
And with that goal from Adam Henrique, 17:51 of the first period. Save-On Foods has given away their first prize, and the Oilers with a 1-0 lead as we enter period 2. Edmonton's far and away best period of the 3. A shot off the rush, and that's handled by Dostal. As we begin the second, the Oilers a plus 26 goal differential in the second period.
Yeah, and I think they have to continue with that game plan, Jack, as far as playing in the offensive zone. We talked about this young defense core, the Anaheim Ducks, and for Edmonton, depleted in their lineup with the players out, you know, simplify the game. And that's why we were joking a little bit in the start about the end-to-end action. And yeah, they hung around, created chances themselves, but when you do that, you're giving the other team chances as well. Tighten it up, make them have to work 200 feet for their chances.
Here's Hyman pouring into the offensive zone. You never know what happens here. The Oilers get a win. Right now, Seattle has a 2-1 lead entering the second period in Los Angeles tonight. And the Oilers will get one more crack at the Kings on home ice. So home ice in the first round is not dead in the water, not by any stretch of the imagination. There's still time as Minchikov clears for the Ducks. First things first, Edmonton has to take care of business tonight against pesky Anaheim, who's given the Oilers fits even when they've had McDavid and Draisaitl in the lineup. Hyman throws it around the glass for Stetcher. He'll shovel it down low. Jeff Skinner burrowing in. On Colangelo. Carving it loose was Hyman. Here's Skinner in front. Directs one back to Ty Emberson. That puck was very close to leaving the zone. Ends up being shot wide and ripped around the boards and out by Trevor Zegras. Emberson getting challenged. McTavish in on the forecheck, losing his stick in the fray. In the meantime was Colangelo, and now an icing call will be whistled against Edmonton, who's outshot Anaheim 15-6 thus far.
Yeah, Ty Emberson there just was looking up and realized that he wanted to get that puck to the net quickly. So as he took his eye off the puck for that split second, we've seen that a few times in this game. Bouchard in the first period a couple of times. The instinct is to want to corral that and just zip it to the net. But if it bobbles a little bit, almost came out of the zone, and the pressure at that blue line forced it out of the zone.
Alex Killorn launches, and that's caught cleanly by Olivier Rodrigue with 1:46 gone by in this second period. That's the first shot in a while for Anaheim.
Yeah, they took one off the clock, too. They said they had 7 going into the second intermission. They took one off, but early on, Anaheim had their best chances. A 2-on-1, he denied that opportunity, and a good save, and that one through traffic by Killorn. He handled well with the glove. Edmonton's tightened up a little bit since that start of the first period, though, and rightfully so. Got a goaltender playing his first game in the National Hockey League, starting his first game in the National Hockey League. Want to give him a little support and not make it an easy night for the opposition.
Well, and as you point out, Anaheim is not an overly physical team, Louis, but they're skilled. And if you want to get in a racehorse type of game, you can get burned quickly.
It's not the style you want to play with them. And I know some people will say, well, Edmonton's got some talent as well. They're depleted in this lineup, and I think you have to simplify, do.
Juicy rebound issued by Rodrigue, and it leads to a one-timer. Set up by Carlson. And Anaheim has tied this game. Cutter Gauthier with the equalizer, his 16th, 1-1.
And what a pass by Leo Carlson, who has been fantastic since the Four Nations. He got in one game for Team Sweden, and it just seemed to bolster his offense. 20 goals in the season now for the youngster. Career highs for him in both goals and assists. This will be his 21st. Knocks this one down. Killorn battling in front of the net. This puck comes right back to Carlson, and he instantly puts this over to Cutter Gauthier, who's a shooter. He wants to one-time, and he blasts that one home to tie the game 1-1. You're on cue as we talked about the skill of this team. They've got some young players that can fire the puck, and they look to find chances in the offensive zone with passes like that. Perfect pass, better finish.
So the game tied at 1. Lundestrom will leave it for Gudas. Up the boards, but not out. Good keep by Kulak. And now here's Skinner. Taken away by Jackson Lacombe. Tucked up to Leeson. Ducks having trouble emerging, and now stripped off of Lacombe, who just took his time, and Connor Brown made him pay. Now Janmark back on it for the Oilers. Angled off the boards to Evan Bouchard. Shoveled across, Kulak, Brown, one-timer, Bouchard, and a save made in front. Nestorenko will pick it up. You hear Nikita Nestorenko, and you don't think born in Brooklyn, raised in Coney Island, which is in the borough, but that's exactly. Nestorenko's parents were Russian, but he's a lifetime New Yorker. Checked off the stick of Matthias Janmark, and here comes Ryan Strome, the former Oiler. And I think he's drawn a penalty on Podkolzin. He got a stick in on the hands, Louis, and when he kept it there, he gets the call here at 3:31 of the second period.
It's been 4 penalties in this game, 2 from Frank Vetrano, the Anaheim Ducks, and this will be Podkolzin's second penalty. High sticking in the first period on Killorn, and this one just gets that stick into the hands, as you mentioned, Jack, a little bit. Very unlike Podkolzin, who typically is moving those feet. He was all the way back on the defensive play, but dug in a little too far. And the second power play for the Anaheim Ducks. The first one wasn't very long, as it was 4-4 with a penalty to Vetrano for slashing.
So Anaheim, a club that went more than 11 minutes in this game without a shot on goal, all of a sudden gets the equalizer, now a power play, and a chance to take its first lead. Adam Henrique won a battle in the corner against Zellweger. Almost came away with it a second time, and Nugent Hopkins on the penalty kill. Wallman and Nurse rounding out the quartet as Killorn spills it in deep. Nugent Hopkins quickly able to recover and shoot at the full 200. Gauthier from Carlson, the tying goal after Adam Henrique. Tipped in a drive from Wallman near the end of the first. Slid toward the Oiler net. Rodrigue to Emberson. Up the boards, not out. Zellweger holds the zone. Leo Carlson. Zellweger. Carlson inside, and Killorn never got a shot off as he was completely tied up by Matthias Janmark.
Good positional defensive play by Janmark. Just read that play to the middle perfectly. And the timing of the stick being in that lane broke up a for sure one-timer.
Here's Zegras. Lobs it behind the Edmonton defense. Terry first on the puck, back to the point. Vetrano from Lacombe and eluded him. Here's Terry. Hard to the net. Put it in front. Nugent Hopkins knew where he was going, picked it off, and sent it length of the ice. McTavish, the team leader for Anaheim, with 6 power play goals on the season. Lacombe back to Terry. Pursued by Brown. Here's Zegras. Terry swooping in. Vetrano, a shot. He missed glove side. McTavish on the rebound. 10 seconds left in the penalty to Podkolzin. Sent around the board, stepping up Zegras. Calls for the puck back. Slid it across. McTavish won't get a shot on net. Anaheim, no shots on that power play at all. And the Ducks unable to kind of take advantage of some potential building momentum. They don't get a shot on their power play. And again, 12% this season, 3 for its last 39. Just a third consecutive year of dreadful special teams for the Ducks. Bouchard to Corey Perry. 5-on-5. Perry tried to center. Got it back a second time. Here's Wallman stepping into a drive that's held by Dostal. We've played 6 minutes in the second period, and the Ducks have tied it on a goal by Cutter Gauthier. Dostal at one end, Rodrigue at the other in the OC.
What do Canada's most passionate burger lovers think about the Teen Burger?
There he starts things off back in December with that nice quick shot. He's known as a shooter. Here he's dishing to McTavish on a sharp angle, one that gets by tonight. We just saw it. A nice feed by Carlson, the one-timer by Gauthier. And for Greg Cronin, one of the things he did say, at a deadline, you trade away players and you know what you have down the stretch, and he feels a little elevation for Gauthier. A little more power play time to get him settled, and he's earned it with his play this season for the Ducks.
Ducks break out. Nestorenko flips it in. They're not going to give him the red line. That's a tough one. And an icing call that Anaheim did not need to take. With our score tied at 1 here in the second period. Ducks gave up 5 goals in 4.5 minutes. And Greg Cronin said, you know, we're down 5-1 after 1, and we were thinking we could be up 5-3. It was just that kind of game. against Vancouver. Troy Terry actually gave the Ducks a lead 81 seconds into the game. It just didn't hold.
A few posts that were hit too. He said, listen, I don't want to say here or there. And, you have to make your breaks and you have to execute. But he didn't feel they played that terribly and were chasing the game the entire night, it felt.
Kulak moving in, dishing off to Bouchard, getting a pass back, and he'll take a shot that's blocked by Minchikov. Lifted the stick of Henrique, did not get out of the zone. Bouchard had it knocked away by Nestorenko, and here comes Brett Lisa, leading to a 2-on-1 with Minchikov across, but the pass out of range. Henrique went belly down to help deny. And now Perry had been lurking behind the Anaheim defense. He was. Cutter Gauthier driving in to the net with a backhander upstairs, 2-1. Gauthier remains red hot against the Oilers. His second of the period. And the Ducks have their first lead.
This is just a wheel to take a puck to the net. We talked about the game opening up, and in this little sequence, it's a prime example. Pressure in the defensive zone by the Anaheim forwards. Turn the puck over. It's out of the zone. The quick up doesn't go, but everybody's going for a change, and Cutter Gauthier says, you know what? I'm just going to drive this one to the net. Has a head of steam built up in the neutral zone, challenges Bouchard, and once he gets that first step in, there's nothing Bouchard can do unless he wants to hook him or take him down. Makes a beautiful move to the backhand, though, and an elevation up over top of the glove. 2 goals for Gauthier in succession, 2-1 Anaheim.
His third 2-goal game of the season. The rookie out of Boston College. Some controversy, of course. Didn't want to play for Philadelphia, who drafted him 5th overall in 2022. Ended up resulting in the Ducks moving another of their young, promising defenseman, Jamie Drysdale, to the city of brotherly love. And Gauthier having himself a nice campaign. Here's Killorn, another skilled forward up front. Hellison and Lundstrom with the assists. Rodrigue off a dump into Jeff Skinner. And Edmonton trailing for the first time as we approach the midway point of the contest. Reset here for Nurse. Allows Edmonton to fully change. And now brings the puck up ice. Wedges it in deep. Put Colson in on the forecheck. Here's Arvidsson. Angled. Shot by Stetcher. Sailed wide of Dostal. Rebound. Put Colson. Arvidsson to Nugent Hopkins. Emberson. Doubles it back. Arvidsson. Nugent Hopkins. No shot. Went off a skate. Pinball directly to Stetcher. Reset for Edmonton. Stetcher and Emberson, 2 right-handed defensemen on the ice. Here's Arvidsson. Wide open. Stetcher shoots. And that was stopped by Dostal. Might have hit Nugent Hopkins in front.
Like it.
They were right side by side, and that puck might have hit Nugent Hopkins instead of Dostal as Hellison shot easily speared by Rodrigue.
Solid pushback here by Edmonton. 2 goals in succession by the Ducks. Gives them the lead. Kapanen just takes on all comers here. Kind of taken down by Gudas here, who comes across and his stick kind of gets tangled up with his own defense partner. And this is the shot you're talking about. You could see Nugent Hopkins trying to make himself small and away from it, but takes that one in the side, got up and went right to the bench. Looks like he's okay.
Dostal was trying to get his blocker into position, and it caught Nugent Hopkins maybe in the ribs. Here's Jeff Skinner working his way in. Beautiful feed. Bouchard, and Dostal looked behind him. I believe he has it pinned near his right hip to keep the Ducks 2-1 lead intact. And he figures to face a lot of rubber the rest of the way. 4 times this year, he's had to make more than 40 saves in a game.
Yeah, that just is a bad feeling for a goaltender. He doesn't feel that puck in the body somewhere. Thinks he's made the saves, but he's like, I don't know if I like the way this one feels. There's commotion behind me. And does have it, though, and is able to hold on to it for the whistle. But a good activation. Nice pass to send in Bouchard, who gets up on the rush and finds that shot.
Bouchard to Corey Perry. Gliding behind the net. In pursuit, Jackson Lacombe. Kulak deliberately off the boards and a real live hop off those end boards. Kulak knew what he was doing there.
Hyman actually was going to chase it down, thinking it wasn't going to pop out like that. Ooh. Perry went down hard there.
Puck drifts back in front. Dostal able to scoop it up. Perry, kind of a yard sale on the ice. He'll leave the one glove and his stick. And he's now going to be checked on by head athletic trainer T.D. Force.
Yeah, he went down pretty awkwardly. Gudas and him collided, and I'm not sure if Gudas actually saw him coming or if this was just a collision, but he got the worst of this for sure. And Radko Gudas is obviously out. It's a shoulder, no question. I mean, he pops him. That's a penalty that was absolutely missed by the officials. I am sorry. You can't miss that with two guys on the ice. It's an elbow or a shoulder, whatever you want to call it, to the head.
That's the old Radko Gudas right there.
That is a chicken wing right there. Absolutely. That's what Gudas used to do. He does not want to let Perry go by him for whatever reason and just sticks out the chicken wing. And once again, we've got a
10 forwards
for a guaranteed penalty that goes unseen.
Gudas earlier in his career was known as a bit of a headhunter, quite frankly.
Yeah, he was. He was a guy that played hard and didn't mind going over that line. And you know what? He is a guy that would get back up, take the punishment. He didn't care, but he cleaned it up and has become a real valuable player in the league.
That was a flashback.
No question right there. He went back in time a bit.
Huey Lewis.
Corey Perry's okay. Corey Perry's a tough customer. He doesn't usually go out that quickly.
Gauthier looking for the natural hat trick. Rodrigue didn't have it. It was sitting underneath his right pad, but not covered. Carlson tried to nudge it out in front. Cutter Gauthier going for the natty right there. Kapanen shovels it down low. Hyman stripped away by Killorn. Gauthier. And he inadvertently put it over the plexi into about the 7th row here at the Honda Center. 9:23 to go, second period. It's 2-1 Ducks.
Gauthier, hot period here, lets this one go. Rodrigue thinks he has it. It drops down. And as Wallman tries to tuck it back into the pad, it's the pressure of Carlson that's there. Here's the hit again by Radko Gudas. No puck in the play. No penalty.
The TD Grand Slam contest is back. Here's what's up for grabs this season. You could win premium tickets for 4 to 3 blue.
Yeah, I agree with him. I mean, it's just a missed call. You've got 4 officials on the ice for a reason, 2 that have the ability to make those calls, 2 linesmen that can certainly help out with a major call if you wanted to call it a major. It was a headshot, in my opinion. But it was missed, and you have to move on.
Kapanen playing center between Jones and Hyman. Anaheim able to come up with a puck, and it's steered in by Terry. Anaheim's leading scorer coming into tonight. Talked about the fact he has 20 goals, career high 37. Still feels like he's got more game to give. Hyman takes a lead pass down the right-hand side. Pressure from Vatrano. Narrowly avoiding his 3rd penalty of the night. Emberson shoots it into heavy traffic, and that's taken by Hyman. Drilled back down low for Jones. Little spin move on Hellison. Tried to tuck it inside, then crashed into Hellison. Hyman came up with a puck. Hellison sealed him, and then when Hyman tried to center to Kapanen, it was busted up, and the Ducks will break out. Strome put some touch on it, allowing Vatrano to pursue, but Stetcher shielded him from the puck expertly and got it up the right-hand side for Hyman. Gudas put it up the right-hand side. They won't call icing here. That was almost too many men. McTavish will drop it for Colangelo. His shot ricocheted off a Stetcher. Rebound Victor Arvidsson. Stick slashed in 2. Arvidsson can't believe there's not a call. And at first glance, Louis, I'm inclined to agree with him. I mean, his stick was absolutely exploded. Here's Zegras ducking around Emberson. Across to Lacombe. Colson. Nugent Hopkins turned it over. Zegras tried to stuff it in front a second time. No stick for Arvidsson. Still, But now Nugent Hopkins is able to scoop it ahead, and Podkolzin eventually tracks it down on his backhand. Nugent Hopkins coming over is Colangelo. Gudas under control to Lacombe. Drop pass McTavish, Trevor Zegras. McTavish inside, wrist shot, and that was blistered up over top by Colangelo. May have been tipped, and Jeff Skinner thought that puck went out of play. Instead, a hand pass will be called against Anaheim.
Getting what you want isn't out of reach. Experience true flexibility with customizable designs by Coventry Homes, the official builder of the Edmonton Oilers.
A little frustration boiling over here for Edmonton. Here's the slash down by McTavish that shatters the stick of Arvidsson right in the middle of the shaft. Typically that is called. Came from pretty high to come down onto it. Colangelo had a terrific chance in the slot, though. Then time to pick his spot.
Nestorenko tried to work his way inside. Wallman a clear back to center. Shillington popped it back in. Oliver Shillington, originally a second-round pick of the Flames, took a year off of hockey and come back into the game now and found some ice time here with an Anaheim Ducks squad that can use a veteran or two on the back end. Nestorenko chipping it ahead for Lundestrom. He'll whirl it around the boards for Zellweger. Nestorenko able to settle the puck down. Shillington, that pass, bit of a hope. And Janmark comes away with it. Gautier's 2 second period goals the difference right now. Connor Brown into the zone. He's got 9 on the year. Kulak a shot. Smacked around. Did well to just maintain the zone and flick it back into the corner. Henrique wrapped up with Zellweger. Jeff Skinner gets down low. Ducks have a chance to clear. But Bouchard does a nice job of holding the zone. Henrique across to Connor Brown. Defended by Lundestrom. Now you've got Zach Hyman waiting. Spin move. Shovels it out. Bouchard. Back to Hyman. Lundestrom still on. Henrique. Out to Kulak, a drive. A save, Dostal. That puck was on him. And once again, the Ducks can't get it out. Minchikov turns it over at center. The Oilers looking to keep the pressure in. Kulak was shoved back in. Anaheim thought it was offside. Wasn't called. And now you've got Podkolzin. Ducks finally able to carve it back to center. Kulak to Arvidsson. The pressure maintained. Arvidsson hard around the net. Ducks kind of hanging on right now. Nugent Hopkins, shot coming off the outside of the post. Nugent Hopkins continuing to battle. Ducks are exhausted. And then Kulak takes his eye off it. Anaheim will get a change here. It's a long one in the second period. Bouchard trying to catch the Ducks with a feed ahead for Arvidsson. Close quarters with Lacombe. Punched it up the left-hand side for Carlson. Won't get there. Emerson up to Podkolzin. Arvidsson driving in right-hand side. Cutter Gauthier able to take possession. Lacombe turned it over. Podkolzin to the net. Backhands it out. Stetcher. Emerson. Ducks really sloppy in their own end right now. And Edmonton looks to take full advantage. Hunting that equalizer. Arvidsson. Pestered by Lacombe. Nugent Hopkins. Here's a centering pass tipped away from Emerson at the last moment. Good defensive play by Gauthier, but Edmonton able to maintain. Skinner, Oilers dominating right now. Stetcher shot. Save made Dostal. Another poor clearing attempt by Carlson. Leads to Janmark's chance. Dostal a save, and the rebound fired down the middle and wide of the Edmonton net. Ducks porous defensively. Caught on the ice for another minute. This particular five-some. Louis, right now Edmonton's doing everything except tying the game.
Great pressure here, and shift after shift following it up and just continuing to keep plays alive. A lot of time spent in the offensive zone. This is the last chance by Janmark. and he's fresh. He jumps on, tries to walk that through. Icing the call. Face-off's already happened. Get after it quickly.
Leeson, chance to clear, launches over the head of Darnell Nurse. Corey Perry has returned to the Edmonton bench. Anaheim will get a change and try to change momentum. Here's Zach Hyman back into the right hand side, but taken off the puck by Troy Terry. Gudas had Hyman tied up. Petrano. Shillington gives way. Terry hovering with the puck for Anaheim. Back to Gudas, and his pass tapped out of play into about the third row. 3 minutes to go, second period. The Oilers controlling large swaths of 5-on-5 play. Rough stuff.
Sorry, I know this is rude.
Totally fine.
Thanks.
Everything okay?
Somebody keeps sending me these.
You gotta be within 50 feet to send and drop.
It's someone in the restaurant. You need help? Shh. There's something bigger happening here. I'm done playing your game.
Drop.
To the business owners who got in over their heads, the newlyweds who've stopped answering their phones, to the angry, the scared, the stressed, the nervous, the sleepless. When debt's got you, you've got us. We are the Credit Counseling Society, a Canadian nonprofit organization providing free confidential guidance to get you out of debt. The Credit Counseling Society. When debt's got you, you've got us.
This ain't no half-baked TV channel. It's Food Network. From epic kitchen showdowns,
spring baking champion,
to all-star chefs bringing the heat.
It's extreme.
This is the place where real flavor lives. Only on Food Network.
Tonight's major part of the game brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Parts that make the difference. That's Napa know-how.
Well, it's been the topic of discussion in Edmonton for a while now, and it's the players out of their lineup. Look at this list. I mean, that's 6 players right there that are going to jump back in the lineup. John Klingberg is missing his fist rate. I don't know if he's going to necessarily start when he gets back in, but he's available and a guy you can throw in there at any time. Gudas and Perry got into it before we went to that commercial break. Nurse actually came over and grabbed him first, and then Perry, which is a good sign he's back on the ice, was skating around and having a conversation with the officials also. But this one isn't over as far as the collision with Gudas and Perry, and still having a conversation here at length, and Gudas is facing down to Podkolzin.
McTavish
having words at length there. We'll keep an eye on that.
Off the draw, though, here's Podkolzin trying to center. It was there, but the pass broken up, intended for Nugent Hopkins. Try Bouchard, and handled by Doe Stahl. As the Oilers out shooting the Ducks by a nearly 2-1 margin, and continued yapping after whistles. This time, Podkolzin having a word with the official.
Yeah, now the official wants to chime in and give Podkolzin his ear, like, just stay out of it. You didn't do anything the first time, and unfortunately for you, you could have dealt with it right away, and you haven't. So the players are going to deal with it.
Better go,
not the time to jump in when someone's trying to do this. You've let this go. Sorry, it's the way I feel about it. The players will govern if the officials won't.
Here's Victor Arvidsson. Knocked off his feet by Jackson Lacombe. Zegras a flip. Bouchard knocks it down. Nugent Hopkins to Arvidsson. And here's Bouchard. Wrist shot. Deflected. Smacked out of midair. Nugent Hopkins with a hand-eye. Just missed. And the Ducks get away with another tough shift. 3-on-2. He is. Maybe the right leg, Louis.
This is unbelievable. I mean, guys are dropping like flies here. And he got tangled up with guess who? Radko Gudas. Now, he went down awkwardly, and when he fell, I don't know if he twisted this leg underneath him, but he didn't even try and put weight on it. And TD Forss is instantly out there to grab him.
Favoring his right side.
I mean, we just showed the graphic of the players out of the lineup right now. Corey Perry's gone down the tunnel in this one, and now Podkolzin is certainly going to go down the tunnel to walk this one off. It was the shot from the point as he gets tangled up and falls over. The right leg.
Got
the
caught.
right leg got tangled up on the ice as he's going down and fell back on it. And that's just trying to resist the fall, which is natural to do. He just makes a little bit of contact. It was nothing that Gudas necessarily did here. I think it was just a battle in front of the net. I know he's public enemy #1 for the Oilers after the hit on Perry, but that was just two guys battling in front, and unfortunately for Podkolzin, he's not coming back in this game. I mean, that leg was tangled up underneath him. It twisted as he went down. Did not look good. He's a big guy. That's a lot of weight coming down on that knee. I mean, this is just incredible and devastating, the injuries right now that Edmonton is suffering, the players. It's almost every game somebody seems to be leaving.
Henrique winning the face-off. Darnell Nurse with 2 minutes to play in the second period. Fires one down the middle. That was tipped, so no icing. Henrique looking to keep it alive. One-handed ahead for Alex Killorn, and again, the Ducks slow to move the puck, and it costs them, and now they're trapped. Edmonton thunders back in on the forecheck. The outlet to Killorn this time will make certain of a clear, tipped in by Gauthier, whose 2 second-period goals are the difference right now. 3 goals, 7 points, and a +8 in the 4 games against Edmonton this year. A drive by Gudas that appeared to be headed wide, and Gauthier was flattened by Nurse as Olivier Rodrigue came out to grab it.
Yeah, boiling over a little bit here. Nurse just gave him a little shot. It wasn't a lot. Killorn came right down into the pile to make sure nothing extra happened here. But here's the battle between Gauthier and Nurse, and he gives him a pop right after, just kind of throws him out of the front of the net. Not much. Protecting the front of his net. Don't mind that from Nurse right there. And Gauthier is going to try and get there. Has 2 goals in this game and has given his team the lead in this second period with those 2 goals, his 16th and 17th of the season.
Here's Kulak turning and launching one down the middle. That'll skitter toward Dostal. He elects not to come out and play it.
Ooh, that was a pretty good cross-check by Perry on Gudas. No penalty.
Lacombe up the left-hand side. Ryan Strome, wrist shot, save. Rodrigue, rebound available for a moment. And a couple of extra chops as digging in was Troy Terry. It's just a feeling I have reading body language that particularly number 25 in white has had just about enough.
I think the whole team's had about enough. There's been a few missed calls in this one, and they're of the violent nature, so that's what makes it. I mean, the holding, the grabbing. I mean, Hyman twice down the boards, as far as I'm concerned, has been interfered with. No penalty on the play. But that's just hockey. Sometimes they're called, sometimes they're not. There's Perry going after Gudas, a little bit of grizzled veteran that doesn't really need others to settle his score.
No.
But he's been doing it all season long in his entire career, but gives Gudas a little shot to let him know that he didn't like that hit.
Wrist shot from distance, a save made by a sprawling Rodrigue. Petrano looked to keep it alive. Nugent Hopkins with a minute to go in the period. Bouchard locates Kulak, and then a hard hit on Corey Perry. There won't be any icing called on this situation as it's played up the boards. Redirected on net by Nugent Hopkins from Bouchard, and a save by Dostal. Rebound to Troy Terry. He did not get it out of the zone. And now the puck pops free to Corey Perry. Again, entangled with Gudas. Terry unable to get it out a second time. Zach Hyman for the Oilers. A wrist shot that was blocked. Another opportunity for Lacombe to get it out. Spun away from Nugent Hopkins. Edmonton at the end of a shift. Gudas with 15 seconds to go gives way to Ryan Strome. He'll toss it in as he was popped upon release. Bouchard turned and lobbed it back through the middle, and then he was flattened in the corner. And there's going to be a penalty. Strome?
Yep, it's going to be Strome as he took a high hit on Bouchard when he came down. A little bit of a cross-checking nature. Now
and then went after Kapanen.
Look at this. Goes after Kapanen, who gave him a real solid hit on the backtrack. This is boiling over, and you have nobody, and I mean nobody, to blame more than the officials on the ice tonight. So have fun, boys.
Kulak's trying to get in there. I think he's ready to go with someone, and this one is ready to explode.
Wrestling. Pushing. Get it done.
This one about to boil over. But still no real meaningful blows exchanged. Now, Ryan Strome is a guy who will fight, but he's in the box.
He's seeing what's happening here, and he's reacting off it as well.
Toronto.
A couple shots were taken on Gudas, rightfully so, and he said, I'm going to give a couple shots too. Took a heavy hit from Kapanen. It was a good one, then went in and took a healthy run at Evan Bouchard high. And when he came down with a cross-checking motion towards the head. Definitely a penalty. That was the initial call, was going to go to Ryan Strome. And you're right, he's not a guy that's afraid to drop the gloves. He'll get in there physically. I don't like all this stick work and high hits, though. I'd rather see the gloves come off here, and I think it's about time that happens.
Initial call is to Strome, and then we'll sort out the rest.
So there's a pretty good high hit on Bouchard. Stick got up, and as he came down, he kind of comes down with a little bit of a cross-checking nature, and that's where the hand went up afterwards. And then everybody comes in, and this is him grabbing Kapanen. So as far as I'm concerned, that's penalty number 2 to Ryan Strome, which Kapanen did nothing, so that should be 2 to Anaheim. Let's see how they even this out. Let's see how they kind of figure this one out on the fly. And then Gudas with a forearm shiver to the numbers of Corey Perry before he touches the puck, and that's not a penalty either. Great job, guys. Once again, loving your call tonight. You're doing a terrific job. And when this thing does boil over, like I said, they can have fun breaking it up.
Still trying to sort out the penalties. The initial call was Ryan Strome for the hit on Bouchard. And then the rest yet to be sorted by Kendrick Nicholson and Michael Markovic. As Gudas and Nurse wait patiently to see what's going to come out of this.
They've been all period.
Absolutely. Well,
and they're 2 feet apart from each other. I mean, is anybody surprised? Really? Let's see. Like I said, as far as I'm concerned, Ryan Strome had the first 2 penalties in this scrum. You can't literally clothesline a guy that skates by you after you've already taken the first 2-minute penalty.
They're signaling 5-on-4. The question is whether it's for 2 or 4 minutes. And there you go, Louis. You're exactly right. It's going to be 4 minutes.
Hey, we got something right tonight.
And Cronin is lobbying here. He's wondering how it's 4.
I'm not wondering at all.
Right. I mean, Kapanen was literally skating by, and Strome ragdolled him.
That used to be legal, by the way, in football. Didn't it? Clotheslining?
Oh, absolutely. That's 100%. Clothesline in the 50s was standard tackle. Guy by the name of Hardy Brown played for the 49ers. He perfected the shoulder to the face, which at that time, as you know, Louis, no face mask in the NFL.
Yeah, just unbelievable. So there's the high hit. It's the stick up in the air that you don't like to see, and why I think he was called. Might have been on the follow-through coming down in the cross-checking motion on Bouchard. So a healthy run taken by Strome, and then he clotheslines Kapanen after he hit him. So there was a little bit extra there, too. Didn't like the hit that he took right before that.
Nugent Hopkins, a shot at the horn, grabbed by Dostal off the face-off. The Ducks are going to be shorthanded for the first 3 minutes and 58 seconds of the third period as a result of Strome's double minor for roughing, the second of which being served by Nikita Nesterenko. You got all that? Edmonton trailing 2-1. Cutter Gauthier, a pair of second period goals. And then the rough stuff developed. Edmonton will look to take advantage of a power play to start the third. Straight ahead, Hockey Central with Anna and Jason.
$2,910 and climbing fast. Get your tickets now at edmontonoilers.com/5050.
Well, a couple of 2-1 games with major implications in the Pacific Division race. Seattle early in the third period up on LA. Edmonton trailing Anaheim, but Louis, gifted a golden opportunity to perhaps tie, perhaps even take the lead here at the onset of the third period with nearly 4 full minutes on the power play, courtesy of Ryan Strome.
Yeah, he just went off there, and obviously he could feel the tension rising and boiling up. Look at that shot right there. 4 guys in the box loaded up. You don't see that too often in today's game, but this one got out of hand a little bit in that second period. And the players started to take it into their own hands, and for Ryan Strome went a little too far on that shift, and he has the extra 4 minutes on the play, which has given Edmonton this power play.
Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, and Skinner out there with Arvidsson and Bouchard. Kapanen was whistled for rough, so he's unavailable for the first half of this power play. As Lacombe forces it free, it's rimmed off the glass and out by Vetrano. Edmonton 5 power play goals in the first 3 matchups with Anaheim. But of course, those games included McDavid and Draisaitl, both of whom unavailable tonight, as well as Matthias Ekholm. Number 1 goaltender Stuart Skinner, Olivier Rodrigue making his starting debut tonight. Shot by Nugent Hopkins, held by Dostal, who has stopped 23 of the 24 that has come his way, as Edmonton has outshot Anaheim tonight by a nearly 2-1 margin.
Solid save by Dostal here, and this shot selection by Nugent Hopkins likes to come from high to low, use the screen, and he's got Zach Hyman right on the doorstep, but Dostal swallows that one up. No rebound. Good save.
No, but Colson. Perry is out there with Henrique and Brown, Wallman and Nurse on the second unit. And now as Lundestrom is chased out, replaced by Gauthier, it's Adam Henrique pulling the face-off back for Darnell Nurse. Guides one over to Connor Brown. No shot. Nearly gave it away. Got it back for Adam Henrique, who tipped one home against Dostal in the first. A drive by Nurse, and that kicked out by Dostal. Rebound, Wallman. Did he
Edmonton
hold
at
his own?
Anaheim.
No. Ducks muscle it back toward the Edmonton line. Change on the fly. Oilers this year with 4 come-from-behind wins when trailing after 2. Perry couldn't locate the puck. Minchikov has it for Anaheim. Sends it across for Gudis, who bides his time and then rips one up the left-hand boards. Now in his 13th year. Gudis, as recently as 3 weeks ago, was plus 11 for this Anaheim club. But of course comes in with a decidedly negative goal differential at minus 35, but he's struggled the last 3 weeks. Perry to Bouchard, Nugent Hopkins. Trailed by Gudis, the Anaheim captain. Bouchard, Nugent Hopkins. One-timer Brown and a save made by Dostal. He elects to keep it moving. Nugent Hopkins. First power play is over. Here's Perry hard to the hole, and that was stopped. And then turned over. Henry, one-timer to save Dostal. Staring down Connor Brown and able to make the stop. Perry absorbing some extra punishment, and again, this one bound to boil over. Who are they taking out of this pile?
Couple extra shots there. Gudis going after Perry, who as usual is right around the goaltender. Not sure if he poked Dostal afterwards. Couple great saves though. Connor Brown with a couple terrific chances. Perry had one from the short side as well, as he tried to wrap it around and jam it home. And then Gudis with a couple shots protecting his goaltender, but you're right, tensions are still high here to start this third period. But creating, this is the first one, the one-timer by Brown. That one's kept going, as you mentioned, by Dostal. And then this wraparound, no looker by Perry, tries to catch Dostal maybe a little too aggressive on the post, but he's able to make the move and make the save down low. And then afterwards, everybody converges again as Brown gets another really good opportunity in front, and then Minchikov gets into it in a couple shots by Gudis, and
there's the penalty.
You can see Henry comes in a little aggressively as well on Gudis and rips the helmet off, and that's where he gets called.
Gudis before that, as you saw, Louis, landed a forearm to the ribs of Nugent Hopkins. Henrique took exception.
Solar plexus.
And that evens it up. The old solar plexus. Remember when Bernard Hopkins knocked out Oscar De La Hoya with a shot to the solar plexus? Here's Bouchard. Looking left-hand side. Kulak. Stripped by McTavish. Nudged up the right-hand side by Zellweger. Chopped at by Bouchard. And now Nugent-Hopkins with Zellweger trailing. 4-on-4 for the next minute 15. Anaheim will get an abbreviated power play. A backhander short side. Hyman stopped by Dostal. Staying with it. But that power play is only going to be about 11 seconds. Here's Kulak. Slack pass. Looking for Nugent-Hopkins. Clattered off the corner boards and back to center. So the Oilers unable to take advantage of that 4 minutes, at least on the power play. Let's see what happens 4-on-4. Remember, they're outscored the opposition 5-0 4-on-4 this year. Here's Arvidsson. Knocked off balance by Hellison, and that's going to be a penalty. Trip.
Good tenacity here, both by Hyman and Arvidsson, driving the puck deep into the zone. Here's Hyman, the first time he's done this all game long, and he's been around it. Good defending here by the Ducks, though, to close them out, push them to the outside, but he stays with the puck. And then Arvidsson on the next play does the same thing. Little inside-outside move, and Hellison gets the stick in a little deep and grabs on. That's where the penalty's drawn. So good work by Arvidsson to keep the feet moving and try and drive around.
So now it's going to be 4-on-3.
Coaches have their hands in the air wondering what's going on here.
So 4-on-3. It'll give way to briefly 4-on-4, and then it'll be 5-on-4 for almost a full minute. That's the layout here. Off the draw, Gudas. Stick tied up by Hyman. Here's Nugent-Hopkins rolling toward the net. A lot of open ice here. Only 7 skaters. Bouchard, Nugent-Hopkins. Tough pass, a little behind Jake Wallman. Able to recover. Wallman and Bouchard, big shots up top. Nugent-Hopkins fires, and that just missed over the right shoulder of Dostal. Wallman, hard passing. Bouchard unable to keep the puck in the zone. In over the line, threw it across. Wallman down low, and Dostal stole it away from Hyman, elected to keep it moving. And that was a smart play because Gudas fires it down the ice. Give Dostal credit.
Good save first on the tip by Hyman, because I think he got a piece of that flubber into the zone, into the net, sorry, and he kind of changed the direction, but he was right there to close it out and played it very quickly to Gudas.
Here's Arvidsson. Ooh, that could have been a trip in front. Backhander slid wide by Henry. Anaheim seemed to relax.
3 of 4 bars.
Been a penalty coming. Nurse back behind. Very close to potentially 5-on-3. Here's Bouchard. And Nurse fires. Glove save. Dostal. 5-on-4 for another 43 seconds.
Another solid save by Dostal, too. Swallow that up with the glove hand side from Nurse. But here's this one I'm talking about. Wallman just kind of chucks it towards the net, and the stick of Hyman is right there as it lands on the ice. And Dostal almost a one-hopper into the glove. There's the no call again to Killorn, who even lets go of his stick. It was dug so deep into Arvidsson. Here's the wrister by Nurse and handled with the glove of Dostal. He's been good with the glove.
This reminds me of a game you and I did 2 years ago in Chicago, where there were, 16 power plays, and that one Edmonton won a sloppy affair, I believe 5-4. This one has the same kind of feel. Gudas. Gauthier.
Nothing's easy out there.
Did not get it out. Darnell Nurse. Another failed clear by the Ducks. We've had a propensity for that throughout tonight's game. Nurse to Connor Brown. Wallman. A drive, and that was blocked. Rebound picked up. Squirts into the slot. Lundestrom to Gudas, and he'll backhand it down the ice. And that will do it for the Edmonton power play. Out of all that, a minute basically of 4-on-3, a minute 5-on-4, Louis. No shots on net for Edmonton.
Yeah, I didn't take advantage of it. And in a critical segment of this game to start this third period, you've got the opportunity to tie it on the power play, and Anaheim with some good defending, but Edmonton just can't capitalize.
Play casino, sports, and lottery all in one place with the new Play Alberta app.
Dostal talked about it as the only 3 wins Anaheim's managed in the last 14 meetings between these two clubs, and 2 of those this year. Kapanen wins a faceoff. Bouchard, a blast, and that rocketed up on the plexi. Max Jones won a battle with Colangelo. Here's Kapanen moving toward the middle, stripped, and it's a breakaway. Mason McTavish against Rodriguez. He scores. Ducks. McTavish had a pair the last time these two clubs squared up.
What a finish by McTavish, and this is just, again, kind of sums up the game here for Edmonton. This blast by Bouchard evaporates the stick of Zegras as he gets in the lane right at the last second. You can see Janmark all over the front of the net. And then Kapanen, just as he looks up, he wants to give this to Bouchard, who's coming late. So Bouchard activates, it turns over, and then McTavish is off to the races. Bouchard thought that puck was going to come to him. It doesn't. This is a long breakaway. And what a finish by McTavish. He made that look easy with that little wrister zipper up over top of the glove. 3-1 Anaheim.
Team leading 21st, extends his own career high now in his 3rd year. Another high draft pick, 3rd overall in 2021.
Colton's back on the ice, which is a great sign for Edmonton.
I agree with you, Louis.
He was coming back the way he went down that tunnel.
I ruled him out. Killorn to Leo Carlson.
Wow.
Here's Lacombe. Sent in deep, and that flutters over the glass from Gauthier.
Wondering about Ozempic? Just ask your doctor.
Another look at this goal, and again, Edmonton pressing, Bouchard off the line, and McTavish just hounds Kapanen for that puck. He wins the battle. Once he steals it, he's gone, and you're not going to catch him in that regard, and a perfectly placed shot makes it 3-1. Great finish.
Good shot by Terry. His stick exploded on him. The save was made by Rodriguez. And now here's Lundestrom crossing, shooting, and a glove save on Zellweger made by Olivier Rodriguez. 13:46 left in regulation. Anaheim extends to a 3-1 lead behind Mason McTavish.
I'm hitting Circle K. You want some snacks or what?
Yeah, Sour Patch Kids, Ken.
Been a long time coming. This feeling inside.
Ken, where the heck have you been?
It's gone for like 10 seconds. Here's your flipping Sour Patch Kids.
Ken, you were gone 15 months. I have a new co-host.
What's up, Kenny?
Not again. Wonder if my wife noticed.
Zone protecting down low is 1-14, but that are on the short end. 3-1 is Skinner. Gives way to Connor Brown. Beautiful change of pace, circling. No lane in the middle, though. Stetcher does well to hold the zone. Protecting down low is Skinner. Eludes Zellweger. Centers one-timer and a save made. Janmark was there, and I think a combo got him, including Dostal's stick. Zellweger able to take it away. Tried to reverse Lundestrom. Edmonton has had some dogged work on the forecheck throughout this evening, and again in evidence. Jeff Skinner unable to thread it through Terry down low. Another turnover by the Ducks. Lundestrom in front, and a save made by Dostal. Once again, the Ducks cannot get it out. Edmonton keeps it in. Terry battles and finally pitchforked out, and a penalty against Shellington.
It's going to be a cross-checking call. Great work down low by this line, especially Jeff Skinner. I mean, he's the one that sent that out for a terrific look by Janmark. Zellweger, I believe, got a piece of it up over top of the net on a great chance, but what a pass. And then it's Skinner again that turns it over in the high slot and keeps it alive, which eventually draws this penalty because of the time in the zone. Right there, just a stick that takes that chance away from Janmark on a beautiful pass. But Edmonton again back on the power play, an opportunity to cut this lead to 1. This is it right here. Need to convert on this power play.
Here's the penalty, the cross-check that puts Janmark to the ice, delivered by Shillington, but the face-off win was so clean from Henrique, it scored it through Nurse. He's out there with Wallman, and this power play unit begins with Henrique, Brown, and Corey Perry. Brown, scamp.
You are enlightened, and you are entertained.
The Americas, all new, Sundays, 7/6 Central on City TV.
Tonight's hit of the game brought to you by James H. Brown Accident Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters in injury law.
Vasily Podkolzin with a nice finish here on the forecheck, just continues through and finishes his check on Minchikov, who holds on to it a little bit too long and takes a good clean hit for the measure. Good to see Podkolzin back on the ice after that leg twisted underneath him in that battle with Gudas in front in the second period. Didn't think he was coming back, but tough kid. He's back on the ice.
So the Oilers trailing 3-1, running out of real estate here with 9.5 to go. They've outplayed Anaheim most of the game, but the Ducks have finished, the Oilers have not, and Lucas Dostal once again playing very well head-to-head. Now in a 4-on-4 situation, again, one that's been good to Edmonton throughout the course of this regular season. Kings are still losing at home to Seattle 2-1, so Edmonton could draw within 2 if the Oilers could come back and win. But first things first, you're down 2 with 9 minutes to go. You got to win this one. Hyman gets it in deep. Nugent Hopkins going to work. The 4 players scrum, puck lodged in the corner boards and eventually taken out by Leo Carlson. Off the gut, looking for Gauthier. He scored a pair of second period goals and then a very late offside call. I thought he was offside originally, but apparently he didn't make contact with the puck until it went to the half wall.
Defensive play by Kulak, too, because Gauthier was gone there over that line. But 34 shots for Edmonton, now doubly out shooting the Anaheim Ducks. Dostal's been terrific. 52nd time, Jack, that the Anaheim Ducks have given up 30 or more shots this season. This is familiar territory for them, trying to close this one out, and Edmonton is pushing.
And again, the 4 40 save games that Dostal has had. No goaltender in the league has more than that. Oilers come away with a puck. Arvidsson, 3rd worst shot differential, Anaheim. Arvidsson shoots and a save made by Dostal. Not to say there hasn't been progress made. I mean, outside of Washington, it's Anaheim who's actually made the biggest jump in points in the entire league.
And that's kind of the message Greg Cronin was talking about this morning to us, is the fact that, yes, they were in the mix. The last time they beat Edmonton, the last meeting in Edmonton, they were only 5 points out of a playoff spot. And he says they tightened up and just didn't kind of get it done and start to, or continue to play at that level, and lost some games and fell out of it. So that's the next learning curve for this team. But he does like the progression, and he says they are buying in, but it's a difficult league to make strides in.
Arvidsson to Bouchard, and his shot derailed by Lucas Dostal, making his 34th save of the night. Yeah, they dropped 4 of 5 after beating Edmonton last month.
And that's just it. You win a game, you're on a high, and all of a sudden you're battling to try and maintain any position, and that's another good save right there. So the largest point increase, as you mentioned, the Washington Capitals. I mean, I don't know if anybody really felt they were going to have the season they were this year, but they have been terrific. Plus 18 in the Anaheim Ducks, plus 15. Ottawa and Columbus round out that foursome, and Ottawa sitting nicely in a playoff spot as well. So that's a big jump for them.
Troy Terry working his way through the neutral zone, driving to the net, denied by Rodrigue. Beat Bouchard, and Olivier Rodrigue keeps the game within striking distance.
Yeah, good move here by Terry, and just drives this puck in, and Bouchard just doesn't read the speed that Terry's coming in. It's a couple times he's been walked around. Gauthier on the 2-1 goal in the second period. He's had a tough night, Bouchard, tonight. Just handling pucks, making plays, and a couple of times guys have gotten around him on those situations driving wide. Good save by Rodrigue.
4-on-4, still in effect for another 15 seconds. It's Nurse. Bouchard watches as Connor Brown unable to do much with that opportunity, and Lundestrom forces it back to center. Nurse and Wallman a reset. The penalties are over. Jones heads for the Oiler bench, 5-on-5. Nurse stopped initially at center. Perry briefly got it in. Connor Brown close by, but it's Killorn trying to get around Darnell Nurse. Killorn threw it around the board. Zellweger moves it to the middle. Here's Zegras dishing and whiffing on a one-timer was Leo Carlson. Zegras back to the point. Minchikov. Zellweger crossing to Zegras. Boy, he's got some breathtaking talent, but sometimes it's maddening. Here's Killorn in front off the pads of Rodrigue. Henry. Stetcher churning up the right-hand side, spilled in by Perry. 6.5 to go. Anaheim 3, Edmonton 1. Open and trying to center that time was Emberson. Deflected. Perry will give it right back to him. Emberson a shot blocked. A second opportunity. Swings it down low. Centering pass. Here's a shot. Podkolzin, and that was blocked. Podkolzin. Janmark. Stetcher. Speared by Dostal. Able to find it through some traffic in front.
Solid work in the offensive zone here. Corey Perry with a beautiful pass, almost one-handed. He kind of just slingshots it out. Watch this. He's fending off, and look at that. One-handed throws that through right onto the tape for a pretty good look on the far side to Emerson. And they continue to pursue that puck, and Podkolzin with a pretty good chance. And then the one that's sifted through, eventually handled by Dostal to say enough of this. It's been all smiles tonight. Why not? Having a great game.
Edmonton has racked up 37 shots on net, 14 in 14 minutes of this third period. But just the first period tip in by Adam Henrique. That's the only puck that slid through Dostal. This may be icing against Anaheim, and there's the whistle with 5:50 remaining.
We saw that good save by Olivier Rodrigue on Troy Terry, looking for his 21st. 4 times he scored 20 goals, scored his 20th a couple nights ago in Vancouver in that loss. But you and I had a pretty good conversation with him this morning, and Corey Perry on that list as well.
All Korea.
All Korea.
Won't forget him anytime soon. Certainly not for what he did in Game 6 of the Cup Final. Gulak around the boards. Unbelievable. Jackson Lacombe. Pass to the middle. McTavish to the net. Redirected, and Rodrigue able to flop on it. And again, keep the Oilers within 2. 5.5 to go, third period. McTavish looking for his second of the game. Got a bounce, but Rodrigue able to keep it out.
The TD Grand Slam contest is back. Here's what's up for grabs this season. You could win premium tickets for 4 to 3 Blue Jays home games. Get decked out with a merch prize pack. And enjoy a 3-night hotel stay with spending money. Plus, an exclusive meet and greet with George Springer. Talk about a grand slam. To enter and for complete contest rules, head to bluejays.com/TD Grand Slam Contest.
We invite you to play What's My Line?
Welcome, Mrs. Baker. Those folks over there need to guess your extraordinary occupation.
Are you an entertainer, Mrs. Baker?
Yes. Do people come to watch you perform? Yes. Do you travel for work? Yes, I do.
Do you ever wear a special type of costume?
Yes. Is your job, physical? Yes, indeed. Are you a member of a team? Yes. Are you a professional baseball player? Yes, I am.
Created during the Second World War, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League included 68 Canadians. One of its brightest stars was my mother, Saskatchewan's Mary Bonnie Baker, a pioneer for women in sports.
Tonight's play of the game brought to you by Rogers, proud partner and fan of the NHL.
Well, it was a save by Lucas Dostal on the 3-on-1 we just saw in this period. 3-1 to score, and a 3-on-1 develops. Corey Perry puts this across for Max Jones, looking for his first goal as an Oiler, and what a read by Dostal to get across and make that save.
Can Anaheim find a way to nurse this one home? Badly outplayed tonight at times. The Ducks being outshot by a better than 2-1 margin. Here's Strome, a wrist shot, and that's held by Rodrigue. He collects his 16th stop of the night. 5:24 remaining. Anaheim looking to take 3 of 4. And again, prior to this season, I mean, Edmonton had been drilling Anaheim on a regular basis, winning 10 out of 11, often by lopsided scores. In a different year.
Strome finally out of the box after serving that 14 minutes. The double minor he got, but also a 10-minute misconduct. So first shift we've seen him for in a while.
And that helps Anaheim down the stretch. Another veteran guy to help with some puck management, you'd think.
And fresh.
Yes, and fresh. This is icing against Edmonton. But that's been Anaheim's biggest liability tonight, puck management.
Yes. And turning over pucks, Edmonton's pursued them aggressively. But yeah, he just looks that demeanor in the nets, right? Pretty relaxed for a guy that's just has already faced 37 shots, has made 36 saves. But just settled in nicely, Lucas Dostal.
More than double the ozone time tonight for Edmonton head-to-head against Anaheim, but it is not translated. Not yet. Arvidsson across to Nugent Hopkins. His shot. That pinballed off the glass, battled for, controlled through the middle. Good play by Brown, but it eluded everybody. And Evan Bouchard will wander back into his own zone for a reset. 4.5 to go. Here's Zach Hyman. Knocked off the puck. Ellison quickly over. Lead pass, Gauthier. Killorn to the middle of the ice, Leo Carlson. Back one-timer, a save made. Rodrigue, good read. That time on Gauthier. Killorn. Gauthier, one-timer blocked by Bouchard. He'll come away with the puck and send it up for Corey Perry. Jabbed at by Killorn. Came free at center. Gudas guides one over. Cross-ice delivery to Killorn. Ducks inside. A shot. Sprawling right pad save made by Rodrigue, who's played well here over the last few minutes as Anaheim has gotten some chances to put it away. Can't do it. Zach Hyman. And Rodrigue is going to the bench. Chris Knobloch wasting no time getting the extra attacker on and Skinner. 3:40 to play. Stetcher over to Bouchard. The net is empty. 6 on 5. The Oilers trail by 2. Henrique and Bouchard trade the puck. Wrist shot, score! 3-2 and a healthy 3.5 to go. I think Jeff Skinner tipped that one home.
Early pull by Chris Knobloch. Not wasting any time, as you mentioned, to get things going here down by 2. And Bouchard's the one that zips this through the traffic. Look at the layers in front of Dostal, and that one does look like it changes direction. Not sure who off of it, but again, similar to the first goal by Edmonton. When you've got to really figure out who scores this goal, that's a good sign, and good read by you. Skinner with a stick in there. Looks like he might have got on the backhand side and redirected it past the left shoulder of Dostal. It's a 1-goal game.
I think that's going to be Bouchard's 50th assist. He released the shot, and Skinner tips it home for his 16th of the campaign, I believe. It's also his 5th goal in the last 9 games. Another veteran guy, and we've seen Henrique get a tip in. Oilers are starting to get some production. Now Rodrigue is still in the pipes. 5 on 5. Janmark hits the line with speed. Centering pass off the boot in front. Connor Brown shoots wide. Rebound Wallman denied by Dostal. Another rebound. Brown. Anaheim continues to turn it over, and Dostal makes a save on Brown. Wallman shovels down low. The Ducks finally toss it back to center. Skinner from Bouchard and Henrique officially. Bouchard watches as Brown, a backhander fought off by Dostal. The rebound. Taken by McTavish. Blindly up the left-hand side. No one there for the Ducks. Kulak with Rodrigue heading for the bench again. 2.5 to play. Nurse to Kulak for the equalizer. To save up near the clavicle by Dostal.
What a job to hold on to this one, too. As you mentioned, it's high on Dostal's body, so he's got to kind of try and grab it with the shoulder and the arm to not let this drop down because Podkolzin is right there. And this little floater through, you can see Podkolzin with a little flyby, but he's able to just kind of somehow use the glove to actually pinch it up against the chest. Any way, shape, or form, don't let that puck drop. Empty net.
Oilers won't clinch a playoff spot tonight. Calgary's beaten San Jose, but LA has lost to Seattle. So if Edmonton can get this one into overtime and win it, they'd be 2 points behind Los Angeles with still 5 to play. First things first, you got to get the equalizer. Nugent Hopkins wins the faceoff. The net is empty. 6 on 5. The Ducks don't get it out. Bouchard to Woolman, slipped and was able to backhand it down low. Great second effort. No stick for Jackson Lacombe. It shattered in the corner. So now 6 on 4.5. A quick shot. Dostal trying to freeze it, and he does. Skinner dragged that back in front and was stopped.
Yeah, he aggressively brought this to the net. Got one good look at it. And Hyman was sitting in the back door here too as well, just waiting for anything to punch through. Good job by Wallman to recover. Looked like he stumbled. That was a one-legged squat to get himself back up into position to put this deep. And then the quick move from behind the net past the goal line for Skinner to change that direction. Took a pretty good hit for his measure bringing that out, but got it right into Dostal.
5th time he's been at 40 saves or more. He's got 42. Will the Oilers' efforts be rewarded here with a second goal with the extra man on? Lacombe does not get it out. The Ducks' puck management has been dreadful, but Vetrano's second effort finally back to center. Woolman and Skinner trade the puck. 1:50 to go. Bouchard to Woolman. Can the Oilers get 2 with the extra attacker on? Woolman bounces one in front, and Dostal doesn't like what he sees, so he's forced to squeeze it. Nugent Hopkins got in there, Louie, and it's a smart play because it kind of forced Anaheim to play conservatively there.
And you know what? Dostal's been moving that puck quickly in this game tonight. So he gets on him in a hurry. That's an offensive zone face-off to the right of Dostal, and an opportunity to win a draw and have possession in the offensive zone.
No timeout here, I don't believe, from the Edmonton coaching staff. They're going to steal some extra time. Bring Arvidsson off. 6 on 5. Adam Henrique has had a heck of a night in the circle against Ryan Strome. 3-2 Anaheim. Henrique wins another draw. 80% tonight in the circle. Lifted. And the Ducks get it out, but not in a position where Terry could have sealed it with an empty netter. Bouchard scampers to center. Shoots it around. And that kicked out of play. And because he released it from beyond the blue line, Louie, that's a big break for the Ducks. Faceoff will be on the dot right in front of the Anaheim bench.
Yeah, still a lot of time on the clock, but possession is key here for Edmonton, because you know Anaheim's looking at any opportunity to bury it in the open net and finish this off in 1:26.
They're going to send Rodrigue out there, Louie, and call Perry off. And so for now, 5 on 5.
With 1:26 still on the clock, you've got lots of time, so settle down, get possession, find your way into the zone, and Rodrigue with a little bit of a lead off here to try and get to the bench.
Pays off because Anaheim won the draw. Henrique, a rare loss, but weren't able to go for the empty net. Oilers still, as Louie talked about, with a healthy 70 seconds remaining. Bouchard will drop it off for Woolman. A stretch to Nugent Hopkins. Rodrigue is on the bench. It's in deep. Here's Zach Hyman back behind the net. Nugent Hopkins surveying the situation. Centers one-timer, and that was blocked wide. Here's Woolman settling it down and keeping it down low. In front, Dostal a save on Zach Hyman. And he's able to freeze it with 51 seconds to go. Dostal with his 44th stop of the night.
Great poise here in the last minute and a half here by Edmonton. Beautiful pass by Nugent Hopkins. Sets up shot behind the net. That ripper by Hyman misses. This bouncing puck again handled by Wallman. Back down in the zone, and Hyman with an aggressive wraparound attempt as he picks it up off the wall and immediately gets this around. That is a good save in tight on Zach Hyman as he's jamming away into the blocker and glove of Dostal, but he finally gets the whistle and makes the save. Timeout called here.
Coming into this year, the only game Anaheim had won in a 3-game stretch was a game played at Rogers Place. I believe Dostal had 46 stops that night in a game the Ducks were outshot 49-17. Similar type game tonight with Anaheim leading 3-2 despite 47 shots on net from Edmonton. And the Ducks, right now, they need a veteran with poise to get the puck out of their own end. Edmonton has been dogged all night, Louis. Give the Oilers credit.
Absolutely, and that's the game plan. You have to go after it. You have to win possession. Adam Henrique looks like he's coming out once again, and why not? 15-5 in the face-off dot for 75%. He's been great, and try and win one here.
Against Strome, Arvidsson and Nugent Hopkins behind him. Wallman and Bouchard at the point. And a clean face-off win for Henrique. Here's Wallman across. Bouchard looking for a lane. Not there. Wallman directs. Nugent Hopkins to the net. Save, no stall. Rebound. Hyman muscled off the puck. Arvidsson flicks it over to Bouchard. 35 seconds to go. The Ducks desperate to get it out. Terry trying to lodge it in the corner. Can't do it. Nugent Hopkins lost it. Lacombe up to Alex Killorn. Now it's Strome. Ahead for Troy Terry. Shoots wide. Rebound Strome. He'll throw it behind the net. Terry turned it over. He tried to play it in front. Instead, Edmonton, one last rush. A centering pass. Nugent Hopkins wide open. And it was knocked away. Bouchard a blast off the post. Rebound in front. Hyman can't bury it. And Anaheim somehow survives. 3-2. Unbelievable finish.
Wow, can't go more down to the wire than that. Right at the buzzer, Bouchard rings the bar. One last opportunity. As the puck goes through, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was able to get this puck into the zone. Here's a chance earlier. This little wrister tipped through with Henrique in front. Just looking for any tip, a rebound, any